Good evening, everyone. This is Barry here. Welcome to Friday, March 14th. It's coming up to 3 minutes to 7 o'clock. This evening, I'm here to tell you about the history of this program. And what program am I talking about? The lifestyle program that I do every second week with a volunteer. Now, before I put together a collage of programs that I've done since I've been at St. Ives, well, I'd like to take you back to when I first started at Lifestyles. Well, I first started at Lifestyles on the 6th of April 2017. Now, I was only going to St. Ives Lifestyles 2 days a week, so basically Monday and Thursday. And that was the start of my time at Lifestyles and St. Ives. Now, I started going full time to Lifestyles in the summer of 2018. And I stayed at Lifestyles until the 24th of March 2022, when I took a break from doing the show at Lifestyles to relocate my programs to Queensland. Or in other words, relocate my productions to Queensland, which sadly, unfortunately, did not work out for me. And how did I relocate my program to Sydney? Or should I be asking, why did I relocate to Sydney? But I will tell you that about that in a moment. Now, I wanted a change to relocate my productions to Queensland. This is my YouTube production. Now, I stayed in Queensland for 10 months. I had a roller coaster ride. And to be quite honest with you guys, I was very homesick. Now, how did I organize the move back in New South Wales? Well, I spoke to a couple of people and I emailed a couple of people. Okay? So, in order for me to do that, I had to put on my goals to relocate my new YouTube productions back to Sydney. And at the end of 2022, I finally got the news that I was looking for. And it was a harrowing and frustrating time. So, when did I leave Queensland? Well, I left Queensland on the 20th of February and arrived back in Sydney on the same day. But of course, Queensland doesn't have daylight saving time like we do. Now, the problem was when I was flying up to Queensland to relocate my productions to Queensland, I became unwell. So it was not a very good start for me up in Queensland. Ending up in the hospital, you name it, it happened. And then I got COVID, and then a death in the house, which I won't go into. And then finally, on the 1st of November, I got approved to come back to Sydney. And I flew there. Again, I flew, but the airline was stopping around trying to get my wheelchair onto the plane. And so my chair had to go on another flight, both in Sydney and when I was coming back from Brisbane. So very, very inconvenient indeed. So moving forward to March of 2023, I restarted my YouTube videos, and I've been doing that ever since. I did some YouTube videos of life songs too, even before I went to Queensland. So I would like to put together now a collage of videos that I have done since that time and last year's videos up until now. So sit back in your comfortable chairs, guys, and let me take you back to where my time and lifestyle began. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode back at Teen Times Cast. This is Barry Fear here. Just to give you a bit of history, well, this time last year I was getting ready to wrap up the series, and now I'm back with you to present a brand new series of videos and topics and things like that. So if you've got any suggestions for us for our shows, we'd like to hear from you. So it's great to be back on the show, back on deck with you all, and joining me now for the very first time since we wrapped up our series is Kate Robertson. It's great to be back with you.
Hello! Great to be back with Barry. First one back. Exciting. It's been about a year, hey?
It has. Well, today on the show we're going to be talking about the history of bread and how and where it came from. Well, how it's made in a factory. So, bread is our daily food. And what do you make with bread? Well, sandwiches, bread and butter pudding, French toast. and you can use it as an alternative for burger buns too, in hamburgers. Here's Kate now for her opening sequence on this.
Yeah, lots of uses for bread, and there's also different types of bread, isn't there? You can't just have the white bread.
There's really dark bread.
Yeah, Donna's got some thoughts on bread.
And really, really healthy bread.
Yeah, cheese bread.
So, what types of bread are there? Well, like our special guest said, there's seeded bread, wholemeal bread, multi-grain bread, rye bread, you name it. It's all there. So bread is used for anything. Like as I said, you can make bread and butter pudding, okay, French toast.
And if you got diabetes, I'm sure they got bread for diabetes.
No sugar.
Less sugar
Yeah.
bread for diabetes.
Yeah.
So how do you make French toast? Well, you beat up some eggs with some milk, okay, and then you dip the bread in the egg and milk mixture, okay, and soak it up, and then you heat a frying pan and you cook the bread on both sides until golden brown, okay?
I know what you can do. You can put a hole in that and fry it and put egg in the middle. I've had that before.
Yeah.
Chubby too.
And like our special guest said again, you can.
Hello, my name's Donna.
Well, I don't like to mention people's names in the video.
Sorry.
So anyway, you can make fairy bread as well, and what you do there, viewers, is you butter some bread, okay? And sprinkle hundreds and thousands on the top of it. Now, fairy bread is great for children's parties. Now, if you've had fairy bread as a kid, I'm sure you would have known about it. And also you can make pinwheels with the bread as well. So what you do, guys, is you make a filling and roll them up. Okay, look up a recipe for pinwheels. It's so easy to do. And also you can make a bread and butter pudding. So what you do there is you make up a custard, okay, pour it over, you can add your mixed dried fruit there, and then bake in the oven until golden brown, okay? You can look up a recipe for this, okay?
You can even make muffins.
And we will talk about muffins today also on the show to open our first series back. This is episode 1, by the way. So muffins we will talk about, but today we're going to tell you a little bit about how Tip Top Bakeries originated and where they originated. So, back in the day, okay, there was no such thing as Tip Top Bakery trucks. It was all horse-drawn back then, and And bread back then was made by hand in factories. So, that's, so, as you,
That's
as you can see there are old pictures of bakeries back there,
The book.
and the book there. Okay, so lots of history there.
Oh, picture.
And there you go. So bread, okay, it's the number one thing. So we won't babble on about where bread originated. We will just show you the pictures and that. Okay, so bread, you can do lots of things with it. You can make sandwiches, but if the bread is too stale, you can break up the bread
oh yeah, you crumble it.
and then use stale breadcrumbs to use in recipes. Okay, and also guys, okay, you can make something using a filling now. Okay, you can make herb cheese, baked bread cases with a cheese filling. Now, I don't have the recipe for that, so I will have to look that up. So, we'd like to ask you viewers this morning what your favorite thing with bread is. Is it sandwiches or just plain boring Vegemite on toast? We'd like to hear from you about that. Here's Kate now.
Yeah, I'm just, when you were asking that question, I was trying to think my favourite kind of bread, which it might be fairy bread. That's my favourite way to have bread. Not that I have that often.
So have you ever made fairy bread before?
Yes, I have. Not for many years, but yeah, I have.
We should make it.
We should.
We should do a cooking show.
So we should do a cooking segment on bread there. So we have some breaking news just in to the studio now. Today's weather, which we'll talk about also today on the show, it's going to be 38 degrees today. So if you're out in the sun, guys, slip, slop, slap. Okay, and remember,
Lost my son.
keep your fluids up. And remember to have your sunblock on you and your sunglasses and your hat.
Yes.
And remember, swim between the red and yellow flags, guys,
Yeah.
because that is the next segment coming up on today's show. So guys, it is really great to be back with you. I really miss you all. And thank you for welcoming me back. And like I said at the start of this show today, it was only a year ago that I was getting ready to wrap up the show, and it was, I think, episode 346, no, 340, yeah. I wrapped up. So my very last, well, my last Tuesday wrap was supposed to be on the 22nd with Kate, but unfortunately she was unable to make it, so she had COVID, so I had to do it with someone else.
Yeah.
So last year is done and dusted, but here we are now in the year 2023. So we've got a lot to cover this series. We've also got the Easter show coming up this year, and Easter is coming up on the show too, so we'll be talking about that, and also the end of daylight saving is coming up.
That's why I'm not sleeping, because it's daylight savings.
So daylight saving ends in about 4 weeks, so you will probably notice that the days are starting to get shorter, and daylight saving will end on Sunday, the 2nd of April.
Yeah, in your mind.
So
Oh, it is 2nd of April.
So instead of it being 11:45, like it is now, it will be 8:45, and 8:45 if you are in Brisbane, guys. So Brisbane does not have daylight saving at this moment. So right now on the show, we're going to take a break, have a drinks break, and then come back with more of today's show. So this is just an introductory episode, and if you'd like to write to me here on Team Types about any suggestions for anything that you'd like me to cover or anybody else that works with me, okay, you can write to me at Team Types Cash. The address is number 6 Stanley Street, St. Types, New South Wales 2075, and I'd like to hear from you about anything you'd like to know about. And if I'm out in the community, ask me what you'd like to see. Perhaps you've heard of a new place that's opened up. I'd like to hear from you about it. So ask me, what is it you'd like to see? Like I've said, perhaps you've heard of a new place opened up. So just write into me, guys, and I'd be happy to respond to you. And you don't forget to include your return address too, so that I can write to you. I'd like to hear from you. Well, it's coming up to 11:15 here on the first episode of the show, and after the break I will be telling you all about my experience with Queensland, and also I'd like to ask you, Katie, after the break, how did the performance go?
Oh, yes.
So I will be asking how the performance went. So stay with us. We've got plenty more coming up on the show today. And this is episode 1, the return of the show. It's Monday, the 6th of the 3rd, 2023, and just recapping Sydney's weather for you once more. A very hot day today. Keep up your fluids, guys. And this is a bottle of fluid here. Okay, so I'm off to have a drink before the next segment of today's show. This is Barry Fear. You are watching episode 1 of the return of the show. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you today. Well, good afternoon, and this is Barry Fear with you. Coming up in five minutes after 1. Monday the 6th of March. Great to be with you wherever you may be watching. And 5 minutes after 12 if you are in Queensland, which is where I've come from. Well, Queensland, to be quite honest, was quite a bit of a disaster and a flop. Now, on the way up to Queensland, guys, I had a medical episode and it was not good. Not the way I wanted to end my New South Wales adventure and begin a new chapter. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all that happened because it was that long ago. Nearly a year ago, but I did have some good memories of Queensland, I can assure you. So guys, I went to the ginger factory a couple of times, and it was once. I went to Strathpine a couple of times, and it was great. And then I went 10-pin bowling at Strathpine, and that was great too. And that was at Strathpine Bowls. I didn't do a video there though, but I went to the shopping centre and did a video there. I went to Chermside a couple of times. That was good too. We went to South Bank a couple of times, and that was good too. But then things really started to fall apart for me up in Queensland, where I had the COVID. Very, very annoying. And I had to cancel a couple of shows, and that was very annoying. Now, this happened when I was doing episode 21 at Scarborough. Now, I began feeling unwell on the 13th of June, well, the 12th of June actually was when I started to feel unwell, but I won't go into that. And like I said before, I can't tell you all that happened because it was nearly so long ago. So anyway, moving forward now, I spent the last couple of weeks in Ipswich, and we went to Silkstone and Riverlink shopping centres. You will be able to see the videos that I've put up there right now. So guys, I am so glad to be back with you now. So this is episode 1, the return of my shows. Great to be with you. Now, I'd like to ask the director of Performing Arts about the show. Now last week, I went to see the show called Please Can We Do Something Different at the Glen Street Theatre. I went along and it was absolutely terrific. So Kate, what was your role in making the show happen?
Oh, I'll move over a little bit. I had lots of roles. So yeah, I was the director technically, but I also, on the night, I was stage manager. So I was the side of the stage and I wore a headset and I talked to the lighting and the sound person to be like, turn the lights on now, please. And turn Maxie's mic on. Yeah, doing lots of things. And then I also made some of the videos, and with all of the Performing Arts gang, we all wrote the scripts together.
So how long did it take for you to rehearse all the show and get it together?
Yeah, it took quite a while because we had a performance here in September. So we probably worked on that for a couple of months and then made it a lot better from September till March. Like
So
6
what
months.
was the performance in September? I wasn't here back then.
Yeah, you weren't here. It was basically the same thing, just not as pretty and as fine-tuned as the one on the stage. So we had, so part of the show, as you saw, there was the shadows behind that big screen, but we just had a thing that held a sheet for the shadows, which worked. And like, it was all of me doing the very limited lighting we had, and there was no captioning for that one. So it was, some things are a little bit hard to understand, but just we made it a lot better.
Hello?
We're just talking about Performing Arts at Glen Street Theatre.
Are you in?
We're getting filmed.
videos that he does.
Oh, sorry.
Sam was also there.
Sorry.
Put Sam in.
Sorry about
Did you think of the show, Sam?
It was amazing. I loved it. Everyone did so well.
And don't forget, viewers, the next performance will be at the Opera House next year.
True story.
The next one.
True story.
Yeah. See you there.
So we've got 12 months to get our act in the gear
Yeah.
to come up with an idea. So, Kate, how did you feel about the show? Were you nervous?
Well, I was a little bit nervous before, but mostly excited. I think also just a bit nervous because how big the day was. I thought the show would be great, but there was I had to get up quite early. Everyone was there at the theatre all day, so I was nervous about that, but it was fine.
So what time did everyone get to the theatre?
We got there at 9. I got there at 8. But I think so some of the people had to get up at like 6 a.m., 5:30 to get ready so they can get all dressed and ready, have their stuff together and their taxi to get to the theatre. Yeah, big day.
So, I recommend before you hire the theatre out, make sure that there is enough wheelchair accessibility for bathrooms, and make sure that there is an entrance for the stage, okay? Because that is very important.
Yeah.
Make sure it is wheelchair accessible access.
Yeah. That's a good point, Barry, because Glen Street, they're quite good, but they still only had 6 wheelchair accessible spots in the audience, which is more than some theatres, but not really enough, is it?
Not really enough. Because like I saw on Thursday, okay, there was lots of stairs heading down to the stage. So how did everyone get onto the stage?
That's a good point. So for that theatre, can't come in the normal entrance. You have to go all the way around the back and come onto the stage that way, and there's a ramp. So that's accessible, but it was also annoying because it was raining. So they were meant to get dropped off at the front of the theatre, but we had to turn all these vans and taxis around to go to the back, so we didn't have to walk in the rain.
And speaking of rain, I got wet in Brisbane because I thought it was going to be sunny for my final few hours in Queensland, but unfortunately it was not. And luckily I had a spare shirt,
Oh, good.
so I got quickly changed into that. So luckily for me, I had a spare shirt. Very lucky
Very lucky.
indeed.
Good, you're prepared.
So before you go outside, guys, check your weather and have wet weather gear. Here's my offside.
Yeah, it's good to be prepared and sometimes have extra clothes, like Barry had an extra shirt. That's a good idea. Or at least have an umbrella nearby in case.
So before we close our first episode back, just going over bread, the bread recipes, okay? You can make lots of things with bread, okay? Bread and butter pudding, you name it. You can make all sorts of things. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, as Barry said before, there's many things we can
I'll
make with
pour
bread.
that.
Okay.
So you can make lots of things with bread,
Yeah.
French toast, berry bread, you name it. You name it. You can cook with it.
Yeah, toasted sandwiches.
Toasted sandwiches, yummo.
Yeah.
So, this is just our first episode back, guys, and welcome along to it, and it's great to be back. I can't wait to bring you more episodes of the show, and I hope, and episode 2 is coming up next Monday, of course, and I will be moving to Wabash on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
So the number, so before I close the show, an important message. It is 38 degrees today out there, so keep your fluids up, guys, and if you don't need to be in the sun, stay out of it, okay? Wear a hat and sun cream if you're going to be out in the sun. Remember, the hottest part of the day is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. if I'm right.
Yeah.
And now the closing message, and this is an important one, okay? 000, it is an emergency number that is only to be used in an emergency, so please do not be a stupid idiot with that number
Yeah.
and play silly prank jokes. And don't ring them on April 1, just because it's April Fool's Day in a couple of months. Don't prank 000. And here's Kate with her first closing sequence on this.
Yeah, always an important point, Barry, to only call 000 in emergency. I don't know if you know, but my housemate's a paramedic now. She wasn't when you left. So I know, yeah, she sometimes has to go to places that aren't necessarily an emergency and that should be saved for absolute emergencies to get people to hospital. Yeah.
And which station do they work?
Haberfield. Do you know Haberfield?
I do,
She
yes.
works there. Yeah.
So, guys, please don't be an absolute fool with
The absolute tool.
Good point.
That's a good point, Donna.
Do it when you need it, not do it when you feel like it.
Absolutely.
So if you haven't got an emergency, guys, don't fool with 000, please.
Because they're gonna get really mad.
Yeah. It saves
Because
lives.
the wrong call that you make the 000, well, it can cost somebody. Like me or my offside, their lives. So, and you will get fined too. And with school holidays about to embark too, please, parents out there, teach your kids the right way and the wrong way about ringing 000. Tell them when to ring 000 and when not to. Here's Kate now.
Yeah, that's a good point to educate kids on calling 000 and also when to call them. It might help save your life if you teach your kid to call for you. Yeah.
But do not ring 000 unless you really have to, guys. I will be telling you this on every show, and I will be talking about getting prepared for the Easter show as well. So that's coming up, and Easter and the end of daylight savings, so that's coming up on the 2nd of April, so not very long to go. So don't forget to switch your clock back 1 hour on April 1st. This is a Saturday, and it was only a year ago that I moved to Britain. I left Sydney on the 31st. That was on the Thursday, so on Friday it will be the 31st. So it was only a year ago that I left. And now that I am back, it's great to be back. And now it is time to go, so thanks everyone for joining me here on episode 1. Here's Kate now for her farewell now.
Yeah, great to be back, Barry. It feels like yesterday we were filming a video, but it's been, yeah, almost a year. Wild. Great show.
So now it is time to go, and like always, if you've got anything that you like us to cover, please let us know. Ask us what you'd like to see. And If you'd like us to improve on something, please let us know. Write to us. I gave you the address on the show earlier, and I'll give you, and you can also contact us through, look us up on the website and give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to be a part of our performing arts, please speak to Kate.
Yes, please.
We'd like to see you in the next production, so plenty more coming up. So this is the start, guys. So don't you, so it was also nearly a year ago I said bye-bye, but now I am saying hello. It's great to be back. So guys, nice to be back with you again. I'm not going to leave ever again, and that is the end of episode 1 here on the show. Episode 2 coming up in 7 days. This is Sometimes Cash, That's Life. I'm Barry Fair. Well, good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have a recipe for you, and this is episode 2 of my Cabs videos here at St. Times. Now, you may recall at the end of 2021, I had this special guest here. Well, today is the final day with us. So, welcome, Cass, to the last show with you. And how does it feel to be finishing?
Well, thank you for welcoming me to your show, Barry. It's lovely to be on the show. It feels bittersweet. That's what it feels like to be finishing, because I've loved my time here and I've thoroughly enjoyed spending time with yourself and all the other lovely people here. But it's time for me to move on.
So, like with me last year, I was getting ready to wrap up, but today is not about me, it's about the special guest. So, what have you liked most, Cass, about working with such awesome people at St. Times?
I think I loved getting to know everyone individually, like yourself, and getting to hear your stories and your wisdom and the humour that everyone displays. You know, it's very easy to be busy and not really stop and pay attention, and I think working with you guys has been a real lesson for me in taking the time to just be with people and connect.
And so, have you been on any good outings, Cass?
Oh yes, I've got to go on some excellent outings. I think one of my favourites was when we got to go to the Contemporary Museum of Art. That was really cool. We went and actually did a workshop with the clients, and got to sit in the room and do some art as well as tour the museum. I also really enjoyed going to Van Gogh Alive.
What was that about?
Well, that was all about Van Gogh the painter, and they did interactive sort of virtual showing at Fox Studios, where they had massive big screens set up in this really big hall, and you went in and sat inside it, and they put all these artworks up and told some of his story and all the rest of it, and it was just really beautiful, and the music was lovely, and it was a great experience.
So, any other outings that you went on?
Well, I've done lots of outings to places like Balmoral and Flying Fox Park and Eden Gardens and all those sorts of places, which are always lovely to get out and about and, you know, fresh air and, you know, lots of people to see and all the cool things. Those are always good.
So, what has been the most favourite thing that you've done since Ives?
I think my most favourite thing out of everything was working with the Performing Arts group and being involved in our performance that we did just last week at Glen Street Theatre. Oh, please, can we do something different? That's probably my most favourite thing. That was really amazing to be involved in.
So how long did it take for you to rehearse that and plan for it? Because I know that I was not here for that.
Yeah, so we started that last year. When did you actually leave to go to Queensland?
I left on the, well, my actual last day was on the 24th of March,
Right.
which is actually nearly a year on since I finished here.
Yeah.
And I know that I've got the video of that somewhere of my last day here. Mm-hmm. I know everyone was pretty sad, so when did you actually start rehearsing for this?
It would have been about the middle of the year last year, probably around June, July, that we started rehearsing. And at that stage, we didn't actually have a complete play. So the entire performance was actually come up with by the clients that performed in it, by the actors themselves. So we had to develop the entire play from scratch. It wasn't like we'd gone out and were just doing a play. It was a completely self-written new work. So we started in June. I think we did
And that was the time when I got COVID up there.
Oh,
so.
no. A lot of people got COVID, didn't they? I had COVID last year too in November.
November, so was anybody shut down at all?
No. I think I was not in on site for a couple of days and then tested positive for it, so nobody got shut down because of me, thankfully.
So, Cash, just two more questions because I've got the jams and chutneys recipes coming up today on the show too.
Yep.
So how did you get interviewed for this job?
It was a combination of things, but I actually saw this job advertised, and I'd completed my master's last year, and I saw this job advertised, so I sent my resume in, and they gave me a call pretty much straight away, wanting me to interview for the role. So that was all pretty exciting.
And the last question, Cash, When did you find out you had the job?
I found out I had the job about 5 weeks ago now. So I've known about it for quite some time. And I'm just grateful that I was able to stay here long enough to get through Performing Arts and be able to say a proper goodbye to everybody before I head
Well, not goodbye, but see you later, I guess.
Yeah. See you soon, see you around. Yeah.
So now on the show, it is time for, proudly brought to you by the Australian Woman's Weekly, a jam recipe and a chutney recipe. So I know that you mentioned before, Kat, that you were a jam lover and a chutney lover.
Yep.
So here are 2 recipes from the book.
Excellent.
Well, before we tell you the recipes, guys, the importance of making jams and chutneys. Always make sure that your jars are well sterilized and clean. Here's my special guest.
Hi.
So always make sure that your jars are clean.
Very important.
And sterilized.
Yep. Otherwise they can
Crack.
make you sick, can't they?
And making cracks. The recipe we are going to choose for you today is any berry jam.
Ah, that sounds great.
And here we've got 125 pounds of blueberries, 125 ounces of blueberries, 250 grams of raspberries, and 500 pounds of strawberries, half and 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and 4 cups, 880 grams of white granulated sugar. Now I won't go through the steps here, okay, so I will just show you the recipe on screen now. And here it is, there it is there. Now jam, guys, is good on a hot buttered toast for breakfast, in Monte Carlo biscuits, if you've ever seen them, and pie clips on scones. And Cass, what is your favourite jam?
I must admit I'm very partial to strawberry jam. That's very yummy. But I also don't mind blackberry jam or plum jam. Plum jam's also very nice.
Well, we have 2 jam recipes now. Apricot and vanilla bean jam. Okay, you need for this 1 kilogram pound of fresh apricots, 1 vanilla bean split lengthwise, a cup of 250 ml of water, and a couple of pounds of granulated sugar. And there, okay, I will show you the recipe for that now, instead of going right through. Alright, so there is the recipe there. And the last recipe today is a chutney recipe. Well, 2 chutney recipes actually.
I have a question for you, Barry.
Yep,
Have you ever made jam?
I have.
Excellent. And did it take a long time to cook on the stove?
It did, yes.
Because that's the basic process, isn't it? You put all of those ingredients in a big pot and then you cook them for a long, long time.
Okay, this recipe here is called mango chutney.
Yum.
Now, you need 2 medium mangoes, chopped coarsely, a cup of coarsely chopped dried apricots, okay, 2 medium red onions, chopped finely, okay. You need about 1.5 cups of firmly packed white brown sugar, 2 cups of white cider vinegar, some garlic, some ginger, some chili flakes, and some coarse cooking salt. Now what is chutney, guys? Well, it is a sweet, savory spreadware which you can put on your burgers, serve in sauces, serve with curries, or in sandwich fillings.
Yep. Pretty much anything will go with a chutney.
Okay, and the last recipe today is a green tomato chutney.
Yummo.
Okay, you need about 2 pounds of green tomatoes, 2 large brown onions, 2 large skinned apples green, 2 okay, you need about 2 cups of raw sugar, okay, and some white vinegar, some sultanas, some chilies, some garlic, and again, some salt, okay? And I will pour that. I will pour that just a moment.
That's good.
So just before we say goodbye to Catholics, let me tell you what jam is again for those of you that have just tuned in to episode 2 of my senior Ives video. Well, jam is a sweet, sticky thing, spread well. Like I said, you can just have it on hot buttered toast, okay? Scones, put it in sponge cakes, cream, have pie clips and cream, or you can just spoon it, eat it on its own if you feel like a jam.
Do you know what I used to do with it, with my kids?
What?
We used to get pastry and we used to put jam all over the pastry and then roll the pastry up and then bake it. That's a nice way to have jam too.
So, Molly Pirelli is what you make with jam and cream. Now you like Cass said, to spread jam all over the place, all over the pastry, roll it up, bake it, and there you have it. Okay. Now moving on jams and chutneys now. Focusing on my outgoing person here. Before we wrap up, I'd just like to take the opportunity, Cass, of thanking you very much for what you've done. Now, I've only been back here 2 weeks, and I know I said it at the end of my time here, but like I said, today is not about me, it's about you, so I'd like to wish you all the very best of luck in your new job starting in 2 weeks. Is there any other particular highlight that you've enjoyed?
Well, I think working with you has definitely been a highlight. And I would like to thank you for your patience with me and for being very supportive today. And supportive from the day I started here. So Barry was one of the first people I met when I started working here. And he's always been very helpful. So thank you. Yeah, no, I think that's probably about it. You know, there's so many memories that it's kind of hard to pick one highlight.
But it's not as though we're not going to see Kat again, because she will be popping in and out, and I will do awesome videos as usual.
Excellent.
Okay, so Cass, thank you for coming on episode 2 today. And is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers out there?
My pleasure for coming on there, and thank you for having me on, Barry. And if I could say anything to anyone, it would be to be kind.
And be respectful of people's choices and decisions too.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just about you've got to think of the person that has taken the opportunity and don't go ripping their opportunities to shreds.
Yeah.
Well, this has been episode 2 today. Thank you very much for joining me, and join me again next time around on the show. And next time on the show, I'll be talking about Easter, and what it means, and planning that all-important getaway for 4 days. And just a reminder, Sunday, April 2nd, wind the clock back 1 hour. Okay, so you would probably notice that the days are starting to get shorter and the mornings are getting chillier now. So we are, excuse me, the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer, so which ties up the fall is coming, and Eastern Standard Time is about to descend on us until October at least. So that is episode 2 for this Friday, March 10. And Cass, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Barry.
Bye-bye now. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope that you have enjoyed the first collage of videos that I've brought to you. But stay tuned, guys, because there's more of my videos coming up, or should I say, there will be another lot of my videos coming up in part 2 of the history of my YouTube videos at Sin Times. So, like I've said, sit back in your comfortable chair and relax because I'm about to put together a collage of videos that I have done and presented for you at Lifestyles. The first lot of videos that I have done for you will be from 2023. So I hope that you enjoy them.